Hey, it's Cody from Crownlands, and you're watching CMS TV.
What is going on, everybody? It is Chris Akin, and I am back with another edition of Chris Akin Presents. Hope you're having a great day. Hope it's full of hard rock and heavy metal. This list, I will hope, will put some heavy metal for you guys to at least consider back in your ears, okay? Today, we are going to be talking some Megadeth. Everybody loves Megadeth. If you're a heavy metal fan, I think it's almost a rule. You have to love Megadeth. It really is one of those things. Megadeth has had kind of two sides to their career. They had the kind of the classic side, or the successful side, I'll call it, which is kind of everything through like 2000, I guess. The original era, obviously the big lineup era, Rust in Peace era, Peace Cells era, Euthanasia, Countdown to Extinction, those albums. Then you had the second era, and there was Mustaine with his injury thing with his hand and couldn't play for a while and blah, blah, blah. And they came back, and I kind of start the second era of the band around 2001. That's really where I would say that era starts. So what we are going to look at today is, in the current era, the top 5 songs of the second era of Megadeth, because it's real easy to do the first era. It's real easy to say, well, Peace Cells is a great song, and Tornado of Souls is a great song, and Holy Wars, Punishment Due is a great song. I mean, it's really easy to do those. But on these second tier albums, there's a ton of great music. And with that great music, I think a lot of it gets lost, because in this era of hard rock and heavy metal, people don't listen like repeatedly like we did as kids. You're just not digging in and listening to an album 400 times until something or another stands out and becomes a favorite on these albums. So I'm going to point out my top 5 Megadeth songs of the second era. Of course, you guys are always welcome in the comments to tell me that the songs are good or bad, or that there's better songs, or what your top 5 is. But remember, what we're doing is top 5 from 2001 onward of Megadeth. So let's get to it, shall we? All right, at number 5 for me would be Threat Is Real. The Threat Is Real came from Dystopia in 2016. They obviously won a Grammy for the album. It's a fantastic album, fantastic opener to this thing, just blistering, aggressive riffs, catchy hooks, strong solos. A lot of people praised Dystopia as being Megadeth's real return to that gritty, heavier, technical, awesome thrash that they were best known for. If I'm not mistaken, the album before this was Super Collider, which that really wasn't very good, and it didn't have any of what I just said in it. But they returned with Dystopia, and man, it was fantastic. And they let you know right away with The Threat Is Real that the threat really was real to get back to being a heavy band. It's a fantastic song. So at number 5 for me would be The Threat Is Real off of Dystopia. Okay, so let's move forward to number 4. At number 4 for me, we're going to go to 2009's Endgame, and we're going to go with This Day We Fight. Man, you want to talk about speed riffs. This is a hyper fast jam with epic high speed riffs and a powerful motivational delivery. They're talking about battle themes, and if I remember right, there was like some Lord of the Ring type of stuff mixed into the theme here of this. This song comes right after a little instrumental opener, and a lot of people just love this song just for the speed and the intensity of it. If you're a thrash metal person, as I am, you certainly remember This Day We Fight. It was on 2009's Endgame, and it comes in for me as the number 4 best song from Megadeth post 2000. All right, so let's move ahead to number 3. And believe it or not, we are going to stay with Endgame. Back in 2009, Endgame was a great record. I don't care what anybody says. I love that record. Number 3 for me would be Head Crusher. This song is just brutal. It's fast. It's groove heavy. It has punishing riffs. It's really cool. One of the things I like best about this thing is that breakdown in it. It's so memorable. You know, really harsh lyrics. This was the first single that they released from Endgame. It did receive a Grammy nomination, this song did, for Best Metal Performance. And people love it. You know, I had the pleasure of seeing Megadeth on this tour, and when they played Head Crusher, man, people just went and lost their shit over it. Really good stuff. So, good one here. Number 3, this would be Head Crusher from Endgame from 2009. All right, we are talking about the top 5 songs from Megadeth post 2000, I guess, starting with The World Needs a Hero up, I guess. So at number 2, this is fairly current. From The Sick, the Dead, or The Sick, the Dying, and the Dead, we got We'll Be Back. We'll Be Back. Of course, that record came out in 2022. We'll Be Back. Very high energy. Definitely thrash, ripping riffs. Some of Dave Mustaine's most technical work and best technical flair in anything. Very anthemic. You know, you catch yourself once you learn the lyrics a little bit, you catch yourself singing it because it just, I call it a bubblegum song because it's like getting bubblegum stuck in your hair. You just can't get it out. It's one of those songs. It's just such a good song off of an album that was definitely highly regarded, but then faded away really fast. I was quite surprised that this record that is really an ass kicker faded out so quickly, but it did. But for me at number 2, it is We'll Be Back from The Sick, the Dying, and the Dead from 2022, which leads us to number 1. I'm sure so far a lot of you are probably scratching your heads going, I don't know any of these songs. Well, go back and listen to them because this is some great metal that we're talking about here. And certainly here at number 1 is a great one, and I understand why a lot of people won't have this at number 1, but I love this one. It is Night Stalkers, again from 2022's The Sick, the Dying, and the Dead. So you can tell I don't like everything from Megadeth from 2000 up. I just like a few albums. I think the reason people didn't like Night Stalkers as much as I do, this is by far my favorite song of them in this era. But I think a lot of the reason that people didn't like it was because Ice-T was on it. And people don't like to mix celebrity guests in on their favorite bands. I could say the same on this album with Sammy Hagar popping up. I didn't like that either. But I do like Ice-T on this. I think he adds a cool flavor to this thing. This song, Night Stalkers, is so fast. It's just fast and heavy. I was reading somewhere that's 190 BPM, which is quite fast for any band. Fans love this. They love the thrash riffs, big thick bass sound, boom 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 boom. Really big thick bass, straight up energy. And to me, Ice-T adds to it. I mean, his performance on this is just very intense. I just love this song. This is like the most Megadeth song of this era. This is the most original era Megadeth sounding song of the second half to me. It just kind of really feels war heavy, the world is going to end-ish, which has kind of been what Megadeth's staple is. So at number 1 for me, it is Night Stalkers from The Sick, the Dying, and the Dead from 2022. So what do you guys think? Did I hit them? Did I miss completely? Is there something that you would like to see on the list, or something I should check out rather? Let me know in the comments. Leave a comment. Let me know. And until next time, Well, before until next time, do all the podcasty stuff, would you please? Like, subscribe, comment, share, blah, blah, blah. All right, now with that said, until next time, I am Chris Akin. This has been Chris Akin Presents, and we will see you next time here on Chris Akin Presents.
Hey metalheads, tired of waiting for new episodes? Crave the real raw classic metal show? For just $4.99 a month, you can become a CMS VIP. You get every episode a full week early, completely uncensored, and 100% commercial free. It's the only place to interact directly with the show, plus you score the Fast Pass, so your song requests get bumped straight to the head of the line on every live version. So what are you waiting for? Subscribe right now at classicmetalshow.locals.com and become a CMS